Hey everyone, it's Anitra again, and Happy New Year. I hope it was a great one for you and that you celebrated responsibly. I am here today with Nicole Reed to start things off, to start this new year off. This is my guest, and she is awesome. She's an awesome real estate agent, and I told her I would let you guys, I would let her tell you guys her title, because I didn't want to botch it. I didn't want to mess it up, because she was like, you can say Nicole Reed, blah, 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 blah. I was like, no, I'll let you say that. So, Nicole, please share.
Okay, so my name is Nicole Reed. I am a real estate broker. I am the CEO of Nicole Reed Real Estate and Associates, and we are powered through eXp Realty, but I also own my own brokerage firm, Nicole Reed Real Estate Property Services, where I do property management, and I'm also the CEO of Build Credit LLC, where we do credit consulting and repair.
See, I would have totally botched that. I'd have been like, what? What's going on? Let me edit this out. Let me edit that out. So that's why I wanted her to relay that to you guys. Now, Nicole is a rock star in our area, and I want you to tell them the area that you serve as well.
So I am in the Richmond Tri-Cities area, so I service, Richmond area, Henrico, Hanover, and then also the Tri-Cities, Chesterfield, Petersburg, Prince George, Dinwiddie, the surrounding areas. And sometimes outside of that, it just all depends. Sometimes clients send me referrals that are outside, a little bit outside of my market, but they don't want nobody else but me, so I assist them.
Yeah, that's important that they're requesting you. Yeah. They don't want anyone else. That's why I said she's a rock star. She's one of the top sellers. I'm sure she's had many accolades that she can share with you guys. Just a few. She's been modest.
I know. My husband tells me all the time. He sings all the praises, and I just do what I love to do. You know? I mean, it's nice to get the accolades and all the other stuff, but I don't pay too much attention to it. I'm too busy with my head down working.
And she's humble too, guys, which is a great quality. You don't want someone who's just, oh, it's all about me. She's here for the client. She wants to serve the client to ensure that they get exactly what they need, and that she goes above and beyond to meet their expectations.
Absolutely. Number one goal.
So how did you get started with this?
I guess I can give you the short version of that story. So I was in the banking industry for almost 16 years. I left there as a vice president of the bank. So I was managing several branches. I was the manager. On top of that, I was a small business advisor, and I was a lender there. So basically, I have 4 titles on top of being a vice president. And with one salary, and it just got to the point, banking was really changing, back in 2015, and it got to the point where I just couldn't do it anymore. And so I had a conversation with my husband. I was like, I gotta go. I feel God pushing me out. It was to the point where I was having panic attacks at work, and I don't have panic attacks. I'm that chick that you won't even see me cry, probably. That's just who I am. But to have a panic attack, it was just to the point where I was like, okay, it's time for me to change. And that change probably was 2 years ago, where I should have did it, but I was holding on to something because it was my first career. I started there when I was 20 years old. So I was just holding on to it, but I just got pushed out, and it was just time for me to go. So I prayed about it. My husband gave me my blessing, and put in my, I won't say 2 weeks notice. I actually gave them a month and a half because, I didn't want to burn bridges, but there was nothing that they did wrong. It was just time for me to go, and I wanted to make sure that they had a replacement. So that was it. And then I just was in solitude and prayer, and I just was working on myself. And one day my husband came home. He was like, I really think I want to get into real estate investing. And I was like, maybe I should get into real estate, and it was kind of like just a light bulb for me. I always had, interest and a passion for real estate. I did the lending side of it, but just hearing him say that was just kind of like a light bulb, because here now it's almost 6 months since I haven't been working, and really hadn't made a decision of what my next move, but I didn't want to rush into anything. And as soon as he said that, it was like, yup. Next day, I signed up for a class at Mosley Flint. That following week, passed the test, went to D4, take my test, was done with that, and the next day, like basically a week later, I was signing up in a brokerage firm, and we were just hitting the ground running from there.
Rocking and rolling ever since.
Absolutely. First week I got my license, I got my first contract. Yep, and that's just how it is. It's been great. I've been enjoying the ride. I was thinking to myself, like, why did I leave before? Like, but
yeah,
things happen for a reason.
They do.
I think a lot of people, because you know, of my background in the banking industry, financing industry, it's really allowed me to bring something different to the table when it comes to my clients, and being able to assist them not just on the real estate side of things, but be well-rounded, you know, when it comes to credit, when it comes to financing, and be able to provide them information that a lot of times new homeowners especially are missing from other agents.
Importance to it.
Yeah, very important.
You have to know what you don't know. And sometimes a lot of homeowners, it's a lot they don't know, or they may go into it thinking, oh, well, I know this or that, but you're there to guide them
Every step of the way.
and let them know, oh, have you thought about this, or you thought about that, or you know, you worked on this, or these are areas that you can improve to get the best deal.
Absolutely.
And you have another passion in that area, right? It's a certain group of people that you really cater to, or you're passionate about as well.
Yeah, well, military family is kind of like my niche, although I don't limit myself to that. But because my husband is a veteran, you know, my grandfather was in the military, my sister, you know, military is just kind of very important to me. I understand, you know, the moving around of things, and, you know, military people having to find homes for their families. And so that was just an area where I really wanted to be able to be that person and be a blessing to them, to help them, you know, especially with going through such a difficult time with sometimes short notice relocating, and just being able to assist them with that process and make it a smooth transition for them. And then also to thank them for their service, you know, for being able to do what they do, because it takes a special person to do that as well. So yeah, that's kind of my sweet spot is military. You know, we're here, you know, by Fort Lee as well. So probably about 55 to 60% of my business is military families. And I do have a certification in military as a military specialist relocation.
Just another added bonus. Yeah, I know it does. And I have a lot of family members as well who are in the military, and you spoke of Fort Lee. So I have an uncle who was stationed there for the longest time. He's retired now, retired Army. Okay. So he lives close to the base. And he just, you know, he was in it for, I don't know, 20 plus years.
Yep. And retired. Have a good life.
Exactly. And he was stationed a few times, once in Korea, once, where else? Abroad, I can't remember where.
Germany.
I think Germany, Korea. When he was in Korea, he could not bring his family along. So it was a year or two that he had to be separated from his family.
And it happens a lot with a lot of our military people. So just to be able to help them in that transition. And a lot of times I'm dealing with spouses, because, you know, the husband may be, or the wife may be deployed, you know, but they're about to, you know, come back into the States, and so they need housing. So just being able to be there, and a lot of times I deal with people that are overseas. So, you know, a lot of people are buying houses before they even look at the house. So it's very important to have an agent that you can trust, you know, and just that's tech savvy and can give them what it is that they need, because they can't be there in person. So, you know, from the online video tours, making sure that they have all the research and information that they need to have, even if it's, you know, meeting up with a family or friend, so, you know, they can get somebody's eyes on properties and stuff like that, and giving them, I'll drive around the neighborhood and just do video for them so they can see the neighborhood and see the home as if they were present, so they know exactly what they're getting. And when they come, they're not disappointed. They're looking like, oh my God, what did I just sign up for?
Right.
You know, because they don't see, a lot of times they don't see the house until they get here. And some of them have purchased the home before they even got here. And I'm holding on to the keys until they get here.
So just that extra level of professionalism, and just wanting, again, to get the best for your client. Just
Absolutely.
looking out for them because, you know, they deserve it.
Absolutely. And it's one of the biggest purchases that someone would potentially ever make in their life. And so I don't take that lightly, you know, and it's not my money I'm spending, you know, and like I said, I've got that background in banking. I've been dealing with people's money for a very, very long time, and I know that that's a sensitive subject.
Yes.
And so I just want to make sure that, you know, when I'm assisting individuals, especially those that are not present to, you know, look at these properties, that they have as much information that they could possibly have.
Well, I think it's great that you are there for the military families as well as your other clients, but that you take that extra care to get them what they need and what they want, especially since they are transitioning and maybe deployed, as you said, and have other things going on. So you just add that extra touch.
I try to do that with
Personalize
everything that I do.
Yeah, you have to. And that's one thing I love about Nicole. She's very professional. She wants for things to be above par and for people to have a great experience.
Absolutely. Very important to me, very important to my business, and also I'm not just an individual agent, you know, I'm growing a team as well, and that's one of the things that I really talk about with every week, every team meeting. It's about, you know, making sure that we're providing our clients with excellent service. When they see you, I want them to see me, you know, and I want that to trickle down no matter who an individual or a client may be working with, whether it's myself, a buyer's agent, they're talking to my assistant or my transaction coordinator. It doesn't matter. Like, I want them to be able to feel Nicole Reed Real Estate, you know, and that excellence that we want to provide for each and every client.
Right, your brand. So they have to represent your brand well.
Exactly.
Right, so they, like you said, when they see you or one of your representatives, they're like, oh, they have great thoughts.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
But, you know, because you don't want them to see someone or see you and they're like, oh no.
Yeah, I don't want to deal with her. I just rather deal
Right.
with you. No. The reason why I am scaling and growing a team is so that, you know, I can't do everything by myself.
No,
you know,
can't.
that's the reality of it. And I want to be able to service, you know, more clients. And in order for me to do that, I have to expand and I have to grow. And that does mean that I might not be the physical person that's taking them, you know, in a house, you know, and showings, but I am that person behind the background, making sure everything is going smoothly as well. But I just can't be in 100 places you know, at one time, and so it just makes it easier. But I want to make sure that that client is not missing the experience that I provide when they have me. I want them to experience that experience with each individual that works on our team.
Lasting impression makes a difference, and then they can refer, and you know.
Yeah, because on top of, you know, military being a very strong suit when it comes to my business, referrals is my second strongest. You know, my clients either come back to me, you know, for a sale or a purchase, or they're referring their family, their friends, their coworker. And it's because of the service that we provide, on top of just being there, being accessible to them, being able to answer the questions when it's 10 o'clock at night and they can't sleep, you know, and they text me and they've got a question on their mind of concern. If I'm available, I'm gonna respond to it. If I'm not available, I'm just not available.
Right.
But I do put my phone on do not disturb when I go to bed. You know, that's the responsible thing for me. So my clients are free to text me anytime. But if I'm up and I'm available, I'm not going to wait till the next morning just because it's not my business hours. I'm going to send them a text. I want them to sleep, you know, peacefully and not have to be so worried or concerned about something that doesn't require them to be worried or concerned.
Yeah, and that's that extra touch of care and excellence that you provide for your clients.
Absolutely. One client at a time.
And you have your husband who's involved as well. Do you want to tell the audience about that and how you guys are working together and growing together?
Yeah, my husband, he's my biggest supporter. You know, he's pushed me from day one. Always want to see me do great and raves about me all the time. Sometimes I'm over here blushing because I'm standing next to him and he's telling people, you know, about me. He's blowing me all the way up. And I'm like, oh God, you put me all the way up on here and I got to perform, right? No problem. I'll do that anyway. But he does. He actually took early retirement this year. one of the things, with medical concerns or whatever, but his health was more important than his job. And so we just kind of rearranged, the business a little as well. So he helps me and he assists me with, some of the day-to-day activities, hiring individuals for the team, because that was his background. He's been a manager for over 30 years. And he knows people. He's a people person. He's never met a stranger. So I take him to like all my networking events and all this stuff, because I'm kind of like an introvert extrovert. Like, I can be extrovert, but sometimes it takes a lot of energy out for me, and I love to be by myself in quiet time. But for him, he's an extrovert 100%, and he's just never met a stranger. I think a lot of that has to do with just his background in military as well. But so he's my guy that I take everywhere I go, because he's going to definitely tell him about me and that his wife is a broker.
Yeah.
And I sell real estate, what we do. But he helps me, with those day-to-day things. And we also do real estate investing together. So that was one of the things that I spoke about, how I even got into real estate. And that was something that he always wanted to do as well. So now we're doing that together as a team.
True partners. And he's always elevating you.
Yes.
Putting you up here.
Yeah.
And that's what you want in a partner.
Absolutely.
Right? Someone who supports you and just, makes you better. Compliments you.
Pushes you when you need to be pushed.
Yeah. Sometimes you're like, you can do this and that. You can do it. Just hype you up.
Yeah.
That's so important.
It's always been a strong support base for me. So
Good.
definitely need it and appreciate it.
Yes. Next steps for Nicole Reed. What are you looking into? What are you getting into?
Well, we've rebranded, which I'm still working on a lot of my marketing materials as well. One of the reasons why we did our photo shoot, where you came and assisted me with, my style and everything. And Holly came and assisted me with my makeup. But we've rebranded. We were Nicole Reed Real Estate. And even though it was Nicole Reed Real Estate, I had a team then, but I felt like it was time for us to actually expand and grow, and I didn't want our brand to look as though it's just one individual agent. And so we rebranded with Nicole Reed Real Estate and Associates to make it more inclusive to all of our teammates as well, and those that we have coming on board. So as I stated earlier, I have an administrative assistant, I have a transaction coordinator, and I have a buyer's agent, and then I'm the team lead and the listing agent, and I help buyers as well. But I do have a new full-time assistant that will be coming on staff here come the 1st of February, and another buyer's agent that will be coming on the end of January as well. And my goal is to get at least 2 additional buyer agents before the first quarter is over. And then we'll kind of see how things go from there. But we're definitely growing, definitely expanding. Yes. Our goal this year is to help 100 families plus. 100 is my minimum goal. And one thing I tell myself, and I tell my kids, and I tell my partners as well, is never make your minimums your maximum. So 100 is my minimum goal to be able to assist families building wealth through real estate. And so I can do that myself, but I don't want to do it. I know what it takes to do it, and I want to have a life. The whole reason why I got out of corporate America is that I could, have the life that I feel like I deserve, and that I can be there for my family and for my kids. And to be an individual agent selling 100 homes, you don't have a life, and that is not the life that I want to live. There are agents that do it, and more power to them. It's just not the lifestyle that I'm looking for. And I want to make sure that on top of the quantity of people that we help, that the quality and the service is there. And that can't be done. Me personally, as an individual agent, I just can't see it, because I can see so many things that are missing. If I didn't have a transaction coordinator, and if I ain't have an assistant, I'm good at what I do. But at the point when you have 20 plus transactions at one time, and there's time frames for each individual transaction, there's different things that you have to do. Yeah, it can be.
You're just one person.
Yeah, it can be very difficult, and real estate is very important. And we're dealing with contracts all the time, and I just want to make sure that I'm giving them my best, and the best way that I see doing that and being able to expand and help that many people is by having a strong team behind you.
Right, and it always takes a team.
Yes.
It always takes one.
Yeah.
No matter what you're in, what business you're in, especially if you're trying to grow,
Right.
scale things, you have to have people who you trust,
Yes.
that you know will represent you well. Going back to that brand, that brand representation.
Absolutely. So it's great. We've got strong goals. Everybody is committed and on target and on goal already. What is this? January the 6th? Is this 10th? 6th, 7th? I can't even keep
I
up
know, the
anymore.
days just
oh
run
my
together.
God, the 6th. So it's January the 6th, and we have a total of 15 deals under contract already. So we are already knocking them down, and we look forward to a very strong first quarter. That really kind of sets the stage for the rest of the year as well. So.
I'm glad you guys are thriving. What is it, a seller's market in this climate?
It's a seller's market, so it's crazy. It's difficult. It's very limited inventory that's out there, and we have an influx of buyers, and so that's what make it a seller's market, because for every one house, there's maybe like 10 to 15 buyers. Only one person can get that house.
Yeah.
And so now sellers are being able to ask for a higher premium on their home because of the demand, is there. And people are buying homes 10, 15, 20. I've even had offers $25,000 over list price in order to get that home, because they have to compete with a whole lot of other people.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are moving to new construction. That's the big thing now. It's blown up because of the competition that's out there and the limited inventory. People who want a home don't just want a home, they want the home. And sometimes that is causing them to have to go to new construction as well. So, we've got a buttload of new construction clients, and that's kind of where I'm at this point. I think new construction is where it is at until the inventory in the market gets better as well. Like I said, resale is going like this, but you have some buyers have specific needs, and sometimes they're just gonna find getting new construction.
I've seen that new construction. I'm like, where are they getting all this land?
They're finding it's like out of nowhere. It's crazy because I'll see all of these new builders out here, and I'm like, well, where did this land come from? It's like it was never present, and all of a sudden, boom, they made a road, and it's like, oh my God, everything. So we've got over here, we're in Chester now, so down the road we've got new townhouses that are being built, 55 plus communities that are being built. Go the other way, we've got single family homes. I'm like, I don't know where this land came from, but builders are out there. Cost of building has gone up in the last couple months, even just because of COVID, and the cost of materials, lumber and those things are either, they've gone up and they're a little bit more difficult to get them as well, because now they can't get those materials from, certain companies that they have to get them as well. But even then, resale price is going up too. So a lot of times, if you can't find it in resale, sometimes new construction don't work because people need to move in 30 days, 45 days, and new construction can take you about 6 months, sometimes 8 months for custom build, and even longer if you're getting a really big home custom build. So new construction may not work for that individual agent, but for those that have a little bit of time, new construction really works. And that's why I tell people, I get people that call me and they're like 6 months out, and I'm like, oh, perfect timing, because if you decide new construction, this is going to align us up to when you're ready to move. Your new home is going to be built and ready for you as well. So people wait sometimes, so they like 30 days or 60 days out, and it's like, oh, my lease is coming up and I don't want to renew again and I want to buy a home. And I'm like, but then they want to do new construction. So now you either have to pay a higher premium to stay where you're at, or you have to relocate twice, move out of that and go somewhere because you don't want to extend. When I don't have a problem. Call me a year before, 6 months, a year before, so we can talk about it, and then we can plan appropriately, and then kind of go from there, especially this new construction.
Things are just rocking and rolling, moving along for you.
Yeah, I'm excited. Sometimes I don't take my head up. I need to take my head up. But I know this year for me, I started the end of December because I don't believe in the New Year's resolution stuff. Like, if I'm going to do it, and I've always been a person that if I'm going to do it, I'm just going to do it. Like,
right.
Or if I'm going to quit, I'm just going to quit, like cold turkey. I don't need a certain day to do something. I've just made it up in my mind that that's what I'm going to do, and hey, I just do it. And so for me, the end of December, it was like, okay, I really need to focus on me more. I'm a person that serves, and it's okay. That's who I am. That is my gift. And I'm okay with that. But I realize in serving, sometimes you can overextend yourself or overexhaust yourself, or you put yourself on the back burner because you're serving everybody else. And end of December, it was just like, okay, Nicole, you gotta focus on you. Like, really, I was just cloudy, and I was like, you know what, I really need to focus on me. COVID has caused me to gain a little bit of weight as well, and I'm like, no, I got rid of all my size 8 and 6 clothes because I said I won't go get back in them.
Right.
I got size 2 and 4 in my closet, and I don't plan on going past a 4. And when that 4 got a little tight, it was like, oh yeah, we've got to make some moves. But on top of that, just so I can be a better version of me for the people that I do serve, I had to put me first. And so, I made the adjustments of even just changing just how I eat, going and working out right now I'm going every day. So I'm 10 days strong.
I've seen it.
10 days strong. Yeah. And I'm going every day. But, I feel great. I feel good. I feel more focused. I have more clarity. I feel energized. But I feel like I can be a better person, a better agent for the people that I serve, and I'm able to help them, get to their end goal, whether it's buying a home, selling a home, whether it's credit repair, because I do have a credit repair business. But, just being able to give them my best version, and I can't do that unless I put myself first as well.
It has to be, have to have that self-care, like you said, so that you can have more energy, and be more clear, and more focused, and you can just service people better. Well, you service yourself first. You take care of yourself first. So with that, it kind of branches out to everywhere else in your life.
Right.
So that you can do better by your children, your husband, your family, your clients, just your friends, everyone.
Yeah, when you feel good about yourself, it radiates, and it makes you feel good about everybody else. Like, treat everybody. I can just see it, the way that I deal with things, and even like with my kids and my husband, it just makes a difference because I feel so much better about myself.
Yeah, I've worked out for all of my adult life, but probably like, maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I stopped. So I stopped working out for maybe 8 months or a little more. And I was like, I'm just not motivated. Just wasn't there. But then last year, it's probably about March or April, I started working out again. And I was like, I feel so much better. And you can tell the difference. Of course, when you first start to work out, like, oh, I can't stretch like I used to stretch. I can't do these moves, the yoga poses. I can't do Pilates. Or my endurance isn't where it was. But now I can tell the difference. I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I stuck to it, because now I work out 5-6 days a week. So I'm on it.
Yeah. And for me, it's needed for me. I'm an athlete. Like, I grew up, I ran track. I had the state record, from my hometown. And, I've always been in the gym. I play basketball. I have 5 boys, and I'm always competitive with them. Like, you got to beat me in order to beat me, because I'm a sore loser, and I don't like to lose. So I've always been like that. But COVID, this year, I was going strong as well. And then, COVID hit, and it just got everything crazy.
It plays on your psyche. It's
and and not only that, like, real estate just boomed. I mean, it was like for the first 2-3 weeks, it was like, oh my God, what is going to happen in the real estate market? It was kind of some unsurety, but after that, it was just like an influx of buyers. It was just crazy. And I have like been so busy nonstop that I put myself on the back burner again. And I was like, no, we can't do that. So I had it in December, like, okay, I'm gonna get back to focusing on you, because I wasn't feeling good. I was going through the motions. I was still doing what I needed to do, but I wasn't feeling good for me.
Right.
And I was like, no, this is not gonna work, because I'm not gonna last long feeling that way. And so I made a decision, like, okay, time to do something. And once I put my mind to it, ain't no stopping me. We're moving forward from there. So,
and I'm sure people see the difference. Like I said, you're a better mom and you're a better wife for everyone. It's just a plus all the way around. Well, you guys may not know, but Nicole is one of my clients as well. Also, we talk, the channel is about, being an entrepreneur in style and fashion and personal style and branding. So I had to throw that in there.
Yeah, because I don't call nobody when I'm getting on the camera.
She's fashion.
Have to call Anitra. She got to get me straight. And she gets me straight every time. So
I love working with Nicole. I mean, she's just easy to work with. She's open, she's receptive, and I think in a way we have similar styles. I mean, I love the boldness of style and fashion. I love all the accessories and the shoes, and just shoes are my weakness. But I just love all of that. I'm not conservative. Nicole's not conservative. She's just open with it all. And willing to indulge.
I know, and sometimes Anitra, she'll give me offers, and I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, just try it on, just try it on. And I'll put it on. I'm like, ooh, I like. So sometimes it's hard to really tell
to see it. I mean, you have to
put it on.
Sometimes it's hard to visualize that. You see it, and it's like, I don't know. You try it on. I'm a fan of that with the clients. It's like you try it on, because you see a piece, you be like, I don't like that at all, or just it's on the hanger. It's nothing to it.
Right.
It's not appealing. You put it on, and you're like, oh my God, I've fallen in love with this.
Yeah. Several times I'm like, I don't know about this, Anitra, but I'm gonna go ahead in this closet and try it on. Let's see. But it definitely, you know my style. You know what I like.
Yeah.
And you make it happen. So I appreciate it, because I'm so busy that I don't have the time to do it. Like, I don't have the time to stop. That's telling me I gotta eat. I don't have the time to take that time and just actually prepare and get outfits together when I have like a photo shoot, or we were doing the TV show, and different things. It's like mentally I don't have the space to do that, and to be able to call somebody who that's their passion, that's what they love, that's what they do. I'm like, listen, I'd rather call her and not stress about it. I can focus on money making activities.
She can focus on helping these clients
and making some money, and I just spend some money and let Anitra do what she do, because that's what you do. And the same when it comes to makeup, like, I feel like everybody has a thing,
their gift.
Their gift.
Yes.
And for me, I know what that is, and I know what I need to pay attention to, what I need to focus. And I am a strong believer of delegating and having people for that. That's my thing. I got people for that. Like,
exactly.
Just like with this healthy food, and I have a personal chef. She makes my food for me every 3 days, because I've cut back only to fish as well. So we can't let fish sit for longer than that. So, but she cooks my food for me, and that's her gift, and that's what she does, and it makes my life a whole lot easier, because I ain't got time to be cooking, and especially since I'm using certain seasonings now, like Mrs. Dash. I'm not gonna make it taste like she can make it taste and really enjoy eating it so that I can continue to eat it.
Yeah.
So, for me, I set myself up for success. I don't want to set myself up for failure. And in order for me to do that is I know what I'm good at. I know what I specialize. I let the people who are good at what they do what they do and assist me when I need assistance.
What's that saying? If you're the smartest person in the room, it's a problem.
You need a whole nother room to get involved.
You need a team for that, like you said, so you can focus on what you're well at doing, and your gifts are. Delegate that to the people who know what they're doing.
Yep, absolutely. So everybody needs a job is what I'm saying.
And I appreciate it. I'm very humbled that you entrust, your wardrobe and your style with me, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. The last time was fun. Yeah, I know. The first portion.
Yeah.
The first portion of it.
Yeah.
So I look forward to seeing the rest of the images.
Yeah.
I saw some.
In the video. I'll have to show you the commercial.
Yes,
made.
that too.
Nice.
Yeah. So Nicole is very conscious of her style and her fashion, as she should be, because she's out there in the public and assisting, and she's the face of her brand. So she has to represent that well. Absolutely. And that's what I harp on. You have to represent your brand well. You can't go out here looking any kind of way because people make those snap judgments.
They do.
And like I said, you're a rock star. But if you go out here just looking like you're homeless, no offense to the homeless.
Right.
But if you go out looking that way, they're gonna be like, I don't think I can trust her to get me into a home when she looks like she doesn't have a home.
Well, especially when people are spending $500,000, $1 million on a home, like they want you as an agent to look the part, and perception is important, is everything, and people can misperceive you based off of what you look. They don't even go past your look to find out that you're the most intelligent person that you've ever, they've ever spoken to. Like you can actually make things happen for them. They have to get past your look in order for them to be able to see that, hey, you got brains on top of,
a lot of times
beauty.
It's like,
so
they've already formed an opinion about you from the bat.
Unfortunately. So when I walk into the room, you gonna see me. You gonna know I'm in the room. Exactly.
As they should.
As they should.
And I was telling her about her hair today. I've never really seen her with her hair up, but it's super cute.
Oh, it's the workout hair. Because, these last days and having to deal with hair, oh my God. Every day, I was like, I can't do this. I cannot do this. All the sweat and everything. So I was like, actions.
No.
If I find or if I see that I've got something that's getting in the way of me succeeding and reaching my goal, I'm going to fix it. Right. And that was, my hair needed to be fixed. And so I called my goddaughter because she does hair. She's going to school for cosmetology, and I let her, always practice on me all the time. I was like, "Are you braid, right?" See, I used to braid her hair when she, because I can do hair. I could braid my own hair, but why do it when I got somebody else?
Exactly.
Do it? It's too much time because she's braiding my hair and I'm working, so it kind of works out. But so she came and did it for me, and oh my God, working out today was just a dream. And like I could actually get dressed in an hour, not 2 hours, because I gotta wash my hair and I'll blow my hair out, or and put more heat to it. So
that's what I said.
It's going to be the updo for quite a while.
Because I was like, I'm sick of mine. I washed it yesterday, so now I have this wave to it. I was like, I'm so sick of my hair. So someone reached out to me yesterday. She's like, do you want to be my model? You just get the hair and the service is free. Yes, I do. So I'm going to get some crocheting tomorrow. Yeah, absolutely. And I don't have to worry about it for, a couple weeks or a month. And I'll be good.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, you can come and get some practice on my hair. And I cut her hair first. She wanted her hair cut in a bob. So
oh, cute.
I cut her hair for her because she's like, I can't cut my own hair. I was like, well, I got you. So.
All right. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that tomorrow, because the lady who's doing it, she's very gifted. I mean, she's certified, and she has her license, and she does great work. I was like, yeah, I'll be your model.
Why not?
Oh, heck yeah.
Why not?
What time and where?
Exactly.
So, but again, Nicole is, she's just all about it. Just the look, the feel, everything. She has everything that she needs to represent her brand well. So remember that, guys. And I've talked about this before. You have to do that. What's your brand story? How do you want to be represented? How do you want the world to see you and perceive you so that you can, do better work and gain more clients as well?
Yeah.
And just have that reputation for being professional and giving above par service.
Yeah. And I'm so all about the brand. Like, I came out the gate branded. Well, my best friend, that's what she does. She's a brand ambassador. Right. She's marketing, graphic design. And she's like, oh no, honey, we not coming out here half-stepping. So out the gate, I came out branding. And I'm a strong, like, you can look through this whole office and, you see everything I got. And then inside there, I got a whole thing of gifts and everything that, is branded, that I give out to my clients and different things like that. But branding is just so important. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm an associate broker under EXP, but I'm also a principal broker underneath my own brokerage firm. But when it comes to the buying and selling as an associate broker, you don't even know I'm with EXP. They know Nicole Reed Real Estate. That's who they know, because that's what I've been branding from day one. Yeah. And I've been in 3 different agencies, but they never knew that I've had a change in agencies, because I'm still Nicole Reed Real Estate. Started off that way. That's how we're gonna end. Branding is just very important, and people want to do business with people that they know, like, and trust. And that name, like, people call me, hey, Nicole Reed Real Estate. That's
that recognition. I mean, you have that.
That's what they call me when they see me out. They don't even say, hey, Nicole, hey, Nikki, hey, Nicole Reed Real Estate. That's who I am. But that was what my intentions and my purpose was from day one, is that the people to know me for what I do. And branding, it's just, I speak on it with a lot of people, like, hey, if you don't do nothing, brand.
Right, when you're just having conversations, and if you're talking to an entrepreneurial business woman, businessman, and you get on that, I'm sure you lead with branding. What's your brand? Branding. What are you doing?
And consistency, that's part of branding, is being consistent. You can't just be all over the place, with your brand, or people don't know who you are. There's nothing that they can recognize. Repetition, allows them to, begin to actually see you.
Right.
So, and I'll give an example of that. I had ads and advertising in a couple Krogers here, on Ambridge and up in Hull Street. And it took almost maybe 4 to 6 months for people to actually start noticing that I was on their shopping cart. But it was, just being that visibility and the consistency. So every time they went to the shopping, the first couple times, they didn't even know I was sitting plastered on their shopping cart. They're just shopping, and then it's the consistency of it, and then they recognize it. They're like, oh my god, oh, is that you? And next I'm getting pictures. Guess who I'm shopping with? They sending me selfies, with my ad on the shopping cart, and and it was just that consistency and making sure that I put myself out there and brand, and I'm strong on that visibility. A lot of people, in real estate, you have to spend money, in order to be relevant in this industry, and sometimes to get clients. And what I realized from day one is that it really, for me, it was about the visibility. Even with the shopping carts, I can't directly say that I got business from that, but I can definitely say that I got recognition and I got visibility from that. And with visibility and with that recognition, I got referrals and I got clients. And like I said, when you're out there and you're marketing and you're branding yourself, and having that visibility then gives you that credibility. And when you've got that credibility, then people want the opportunity to meet you. And then when you got the personality, then they get to know you and trust you, and they hear you, and they know that you're knowledgeable about what it is that you do, and you have the experience. then they start to trust you and they want to do business with you, and then they refer their family and their friends and their coworkers and whoever else that they can think about. Like, they're gonna refer you business.
Yeah.
And it's worked.
You just definitely have to put yourself out there. Like, some people's like, well, you know, they may be like, oh, I don't know this person or whatever. It's like, but you have to be brave to put yourself out there. Some people are like, well, I'm shy. I'm an introvert. I'm not comfortable with that. I'm like, well, that's how you grow. You know, if you're comfortable, you're not growing. You have to be uncomfortable.
And I'm always
to grow.
uncomfortable. Because I always get myself into stuff and I'm just like, girl, what is she doing? But I get out my way. Because, you know, opportunities just present themselves to me. And I'm thankful and I'm grateful for that.
Right.
When they do, I'm like, I'm looking at it with my eyes big, like, oh my God, did I just say yes? And what am I about to do? But I get out my way and it just opens up so many doors for me, and it allows me to evolve into the best me, the best version of me, and bring out all the skills and the abilities that I have and the gifts that I have. It pulls those out of me, because a lot of times we do get kind of shelled in, and you know, or we're, you know, uncomfortable, or we're considering what other people might think. But, you know, years ago I've got out of that. I'm like, I don't.
They always have opinions. So,
yeah, everybody got opinions. I don't really care.
Yeah.
So you can have whatever it is that you want. It's not going to stop me from me doing me, you know. But, you know, getting out of my way, you know, and there's still things that I've got to work on too.
Yeah,
but
of course.
You know, I just do it. I jump into it, because if I jump into it and I say yes, then I have to show up. And when I show up, I'm showing up my best version of me. So when I show up, oh, you better be sure I'm showing up. But it gets me out of my way so I can show up.
Yeah.
You know, and when I first got into real estate, one of the first things, and I always believe in like coaching, you know, and just, you know, growing and learning from someone who's already done it. You know, so I have a coach now, I have a mentor now. And, you know, that's part of my success as well. I don't try to do it by myself. But my first coach told me, and it sticks with me today, I tell my agents and I tell the people that I mentor and train, like, don't be an undercover agent. How does anybody know what you do if you don't tell them? And so every room that I walk into, you better believe at some point in time, you're going to know that I sell real estate.
Yeah. You're
going to know that I assist people with credit repair. So if you want to buy a home and your credit ain't there, I can do the both. So you're going to know that. And that has allowed me to get business as well. So don't be an undercover agent, regardless. Whether you're an agent as a real estate agent or healthcare, whatever it is that you do in your business, in every industry, every area, don't be undercover. Let people know what you do. Share your gift. You got into business for a reason, right? You got into business, and we don't get into business just to get into business. We get into business to make money, right? Because we got to live. We got a family to take care of. And in order to do that, in order to grow, people got to know who you are, and they got to know that you actually sell those products, or you're able to service them in those products. And the only way you can do that is by announcing it to the world.
Here I am.
So every day on social media and every other form of way, people know that I sell real estate. And if you forgot, I'll tell you again. Hey, did you know that I sell real estate? I'm going to
100 more times.
100 more times.
Exactly.
As many times as I need to tell you for you to call me and be like, hey, I need to buy a home.
Right.
Hey, I need to sell a home. We can call the right person.
That's the smart business.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Smart business.
Hey, it's the only business. Like, nobody knows who you are unless you tell them.
No, they don't. I mean, people don't want to guess that. You know, people's attention span is like that. It's like you have to put it out there in the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
And
be comfortable and be sure. Like, you have, it's so funny because you have so many people out there that are so confident in what they do and have less experience or skills than what you potentially may have. Mm-hmm. But they're striving because they believe in themselves.
They do.
And they put themselves out there. And they're learning along the way, you know. So if someone who has less experience than you have can go out there and tell the world about what it is that they do, why don't you do it? Why can't you do it?
That happened recently with someone. She's like, I'm shy, but after it was over, she had kind of loosened up a little bit. And I was like, you know, I commend you because it takes courage and bravery to do that, to get outside of your comfort zone, and to just take that leap. And you have to do that, like you said, especially if you are an entrepreneur and you are striving. You have to put yourself out there because no one else is going to do that. I mean, you can't depend on that, even if you're a part of a team. As an individual, you have to do it yourself. Collectively, of course, you're part of that team. It's going to happen. But individually, you have to do that too.
Yeah, and you can't just depend on family and friends to support you because most of the time they won't. Now,
or they can't, or they don't. They don't have the means to,
exactly. You know, fortunate for me, I don't have that same story. Like my family and my friends, I'm the go-to. They come to me. They trust me. They know me.
Right.
And they know that whether you're family or friend, I'm going to treat you as if you weren't. Like, you are my client, and you're going to get the best version of me. And I've always been able to separate, you know, the two. It's like a light switch for me. Like, hey, I'm your sister. I'm your girl. We cool. Let's hang out. But when the light switch turns and it's business, I'm all about business. I'm all about making sure that I provide you the best version of me and the best service. And I'm not going to give you half of that simply because you're family or simply because you're my friend. No, that's not the experience. My experience that I give to every single client. And that is the reason why my family and my friends do business with me. And if your family and your friends are not doing business with you and it is a service that you provide and they're going to somebody else, evaluate that. Evaluate why it is. I don't talk to my family like I talk to them as family when I'm handling business.
Right.
And so you just want to make sure that you're able to separate the two, because you do want your family and your friends to support you, and you do feel some kind of way when they don't. And it's like, well, dang, I do this, but you're going with someone else.
Yeah, why is that?
Why is that? And a lot of family members don't want their family to know their business, but if they see you in a way that you are a confident and a confidential partner, then a professional, they don't mind sharing your business because they know that you're not gonna go and tell everybody. Like that's, like I said, that's my area of expertise. What you tell me is between me and you. Unless you tell me to tell somebody else, I ain't telling nobody. I'm taking it with me. I don't tell my husband. I don't share that information. Because, you know, confidentiality is very, very important for me. And I want my clients, family, friends, and all to be able to trust me and know that when you're talking to me about your personal financial stuff or whatever it is, that it's confidential. And that you can trust me with that information. And that I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to help you. And that's my number one goal, is to make sure that whatever that goal is that you have, that dream or that desire that you have, if there is any form or fashion or way that I can assist you with getting there, that's my only goal. That's the only thing that I have to consider. And everything else is just information for me to help you get there.
Good that they know that, you know, because that'll make them more comfortable and like, okay, I'm going to do this. Because like you said, sometimes family and friends are like, I don't want you to know my business. I want to safeguard that.
Right.
But once you let them know, look, this is business. I'm going to do this as a professional. You know, it's not me snooping or wanting to be nosy or trying to attain your information. It's a business transaction.
And what you do in private with your family and friends, they know who you are. So I'll take that into consideration.
Right.
They know who you are. And if they know who you are, you probably know who you are, and maybe you just might need to make some adjustments or just some changes so they feel comfortable with you and they feel like they can trust you with that information, because that's a safeguard. You know, that's very sensitive information for them that they don't want to share with everybody, and rightfully so.
As Nicole stated, we recently did a branding session, and one of the reasons that she did the branding session was because
I was actually interviewed as one of the top agents here in the Richmond Tri-Cities area, and I am going to be front page cover of the magazine.
Cover girl.
Along with a 2-page article in there, just sharing my story as well, and the clients that I serve. So that's one of the reasons why. So that magazine will be coming around the 11th or 12th of this month. as one of the top agents in the area. And then I'm also one of the agents being recognized for the Chester Neighbor magazine that goes out to the area 23836, Rivers Bend, Meadowville Landing area. One of the prominent areas here in Chester as well, because I live in Chester too, and this is kind of one of the markets that I'm heavily in. I actually am one of the agents there. So every month, if you live in that area, you'll be getting a magazine called the Chester Neighbor. You probably already have been getting it, but now you're going to see me in there.
Already.
So you're going to see me. You're going to see, different articles. We'll be giving you some tips and stuff every quarter. We'll have an article, but you also will see some advertising and different things in there regarding me and my brand and my business.
Like I said, she's a rock star and continuing to excel, which I love to see. I love to see people living out their dreams and their passions and just doing it so richly and with enthusiasm and just professionally.
Yeah, that's important. Very important. And just having passion for what you do.
Yeah.
I think that is, for me, like that allows me to get up every day and do what I do, and go hard for my clients because I'm so passionate. I love what I do and I'm passionate. And like I said, my gift is to serve. I know, like I have an administrative gift and I have a gift to serve and give back. And my heart is really big, sometimes it gets me into trouble, but it is what it is. Yeah. I take it all because this is what I've been placed on this earth to do, and to be able to give back. But having a passion and loving what you do, it really just brings the best out of you.
It does, and you won't have that anxiety or those panic attacks you were having towards the end of your corporate career.
Yeah, right. And even then, like I was there for, God put me there for a reason, for a purpose. And my time was just up because, even then I helped, and I served a community that was underserved, and I made sure that they got the education and they got what they needed. And many times people will come into my office and shut the door and, it's like, okay, I'm a counselor now. And that's okay, and I'm sometimes that in real estate as well.
That's part of it.
That is part of it, and that is what it is. But I know that I have touched so many lives, even in the banking industry part, just to be able and give the time and just, the attention that they needed that nobody else was willing to give them because of what they might have looked like or where they may have came from, and that was, I know for a matter of fact, I was put there for a purpose, and I knew that it was time for me to go so I can go to whatever other purpose that God had for me, at that time. And at the end of the day, I still serve and I still help. And no matter what the vehicle or the tool is, that is who I am, and that's what I'll continue to do.
Well, I commend you for working with those marginalized groups of people because, sometimes people don't want to do that. Like you said, they see the physical, and they think, oh, they're not worthy, or I don't want to work with them, or whatever the reason may be. But it takes special people to do that, to want to help, that group of people and do it with such passion and empathy. So
which is so funny because when I got into management, it's hilarious. I think about it, I'm like, I think I've come a mighty long way. But when I first got into management, they make you take this placement test, and one of those tests where there's no right or wrong answer, but it kind of breaks down who you are,
the psychology
behind it, And of course, all my ratings, my scores were super, super, super high. But when it came to empathy, it was like this.
Really?
It was like this. And I guess that's just my roughness, my strong suit on my exterior surface.
Your armor.
Yeah, exactly. That came out on that report because, I can be a softie as well, but I guess for me, I've always been the type of person, like I said earlier, if I made up in my mind to do something, then I'm going to do it. And when I see people make excuses, that is the part that bothers me. Yeah. So the empathy level is very, very low there. But I think that as I have gotten older, I've had children, I've matured and I've grown, Like my empathy level has definitely gone here. However, like I still don't allow excuses to be made. Like at the end of the day, I believe that, you determine who you're going to be.
Exactly.
And I believe that it's a mindset. And if your mindset is weak, that you can't make the decisions that you need to do to be who you're supposed to be, then you need to change your mindset. And you need to do the things that are necessary that needs to be done in order to do that, in order to change it. Because if you really knew my background and if you really knew where I came from, and when you see me today, you'll be like, oh my God, are you serious? And some things I'm just not going to share. But hey, some things I'm just gonna take to the grave.
I know some of those things,
and some things, people do know my story. It's nothing that I'm ashamed of, but it's something that I just don't go broadcasting all the time, because again, at the end of the day, people, perception or whatever, and I don't care about all of that. But I've moved past my past, and I don't always like to go back and revisit my past. But I do know that I have come a mighty long way, and if it won't but for the grace of God to allow me to be here today and just kind of be where I'm at in the position that I am right now and be successful in doing that. And I say that humbly. And I also say it, and I was having this conversation with my goddaughter the other day, because she's a little rough on the edges, and I was like, let me tell you, boo. Let me tell you, boo. You have nothing on your godmother. I'm like, let me just share a story with you. And I was like, now, you take that story and you look at me today, and I'm just telling you, like, if I can change and if I can be who I am today from where I came from, you definitely can do it. I know you can do it. Yeah. And she was just like, wow, like her mouth was just wide open after I shared, stories with her, like, seriously. And I know that it's simple. It's one simple thing, and I just don't understand why people get so caught up, or it becomes so difficult for them to do. But for me, it's always been one simple thing, and it's been for me to make a decision. And when I make a decision, the rest follows.
Well, yeah, some they have a hard time making that decision.
And they have a hard time making that decision.
Here.
And it's a mindset, and it still goes all the way back to a mindset. And if your mind is not conditioned to make change, then you need to condition your mind so you can make that change. And then that means separating. We're talking about a whole other subject, aren't we? But that means separating. But at the end of the day, it allows you to be successful in your business when you can start to make the right decisions for yourself. But that means, like, if you don't have the mindset, it means that you now have to start making some transitions. You start having to making some changes, and that means sometimes separating from friends.
Right, perspective.
Sometimes it's even family.
Oh yeah.
Because you can love people from a distance, and I have done that. Sometimes it's just changing what you listen to, what you put inside of you. Because what you put inside of you will come out. I don't care.
Or what you focus on.
What you focus on will expand. And so, when you start to change, if you want to make a change, you have to be the change. And so, in order to make a change, if you're not strong enough to just do it cold turkey, for me, that's how I've always done it. Like, I just do it cold turkey. I have to get out of my way, and once I make that decision, I'm gone. But some people can't do it that way, and I understand we're all built differently, but we can all get to the same destination. We just have to figure out what our paths is to get there. And so, if you can't do a cold turkey, then you have to change your mindset. You have to start doing things differently. The insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So if you want a different result, you have to do something different.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're right.
So expand on that. Change what you're thinking. Change what you're listening to, what you're putting into you, and maybe even change some of your surroundings. I've lost a lot of friends along the way, and I'm gonna tell you, some of them hurt, because some of them have been friends for a long time, but I understood that where I was going to, not everybody could go with me. And it wasn't that they weren't going to be successful at what they were doing. It was that we had two different paths that we needed to take, and we couldn't get there together. And we had to separate.
You had to separate.
And we had to separate. Right. And then some of them was just, backstabbing. And, I couldn't let go, so the Lord showed me that they were backstabbing and they were doing things, and it allowed me to let go so I can be free, so I can do what I need to do. But not all relationships that have to be terminated or put on pause is because something negative happens. Sometimes it's just the fact that you have grown.
It's not part of your growth.
And it's not part of that. They've
Certainly.
grown and they're going in one direction, you've grown and you're going in another direction, and both of you can be at the top and still be successful, and sometimes we just can't do it together. At the end of the day, like for those relationships that have separated like that, we still, communicate, we still have love, when we see each other, it's nothing but love. But we understand that, that's just life, and, and I'm okay with it. Like I said, at first it was tough. It was really hard because it's like emotional ties, and sometimes like
it's like a death.
It is a death. You're going to the funeral.
You have that strong relationship with someone, and it's, if they're alive, if they're not gone, they haven't passed. It's a death. So you have to mourn it.
You do. You mourn, and those are some things that have brought tears to my eyes, because it takes a whole lot to do that. But for like people that you genuinely love and you care, and like you've had relationships with them for 15, 20 years, and to have to separate, it can be devastating sometimes. But you learn to accept that. Yeah,
and
exactly.
theirs too.
Yep. So sometimes you just gotta let go of dead or toxic relationships, or relationships that are not helping you move to the next direction.
Level. Yes. And that's some counseling for you
today.
And
we
some tips
all
for you today. We got it all for you.
Everything. Well, I tell you, we just that's
flow.
Who we are as entrepreneurs. We're just
we're
counselors or mentors or coaching.
We
have
to put many hats on.
You do, and as a mother, as
well.
Yes. It's always many hats to put on. So. I mean, anytime that I can share and I can just help people be a better version of themselves, or just give them some insight, because information that I'm saying is not new information.
No.
But sometimes they need to hear it from a different person and a different perspective, and a different background, because hearing it from people that they see on a daily basis, and it just it's kind of like going in one ear and out the other, or they feel like there's a nag, consistent nag with that, and they just can't receive that information. But when they hear it from someone else that has gone through some things, experienced maybe some of the things that they've experienced, but also can see the success out of all of that, it just kind of opens up. It's like a light bulb, and it just opens up.
And then you have no biases.
Exactly.
That outside voice.
Exactly. So you've got, a unbiased opinion there, and then they can better receive that information and make a decision and change. Hopefully, 2021, don't do the same. I told my goddaughter, and I tell my kids all the time, don't do the same thing that you did in 2020 and 2021. It's a new year, a new day, to do something different. If you made mistakes, so what? They're past. We all make mistakes. Move forward from that. Don't allow anybody to hold you back from your mistakes, but don't hold yourself back, because we can be our worst critic. We can be our biggest downfall, and we can be the only person standing in our way when we think everybody else is one in our way. We're the ones in our way. So allow 2021 to be a fresh start for you, a time where you can actually be the better version of you. You can make the right decisions, you can go after the dreams and the goals that you have, and you can cut off the dead weight, those that are not meant for your good, those that secretly envy you, those that you have some unsurety of when it comes to your relationships. You already know.
You do. You see those red flags, and you have that gut feeling. Those instincts, and they're there for a reason.
Absolutely.
And oftentimes we ignore those. Over and over.
And then we wonder why, we're so mentally drained and we're stressed.
Physically,
or whatever. I don't remember how many years ago, but it's been a few years ago, where I decided that if you disrupt my peace, you don't be in my life. Period.
Right.
And that does not matter who you are. Title, name, it does not, honestly, it does not matter. My peace is so more important to me than anything. And, and I do the same thing in my business as well. I own my business. I get to choose who I do business with. And that is the reason why I'm in business as well, you know, when you work for somebody else, you don't necessarily get to choose who you get to work, you know, who you can work with and do business with. But as a business owner, I get to choose that. And for anybody that comes and that wants to disrupt my peace, I'm happily to let you go somewhere else.
You're the CEO of your life.
Yeah, I won't allow it. And like, money is not that important to me. I need it to live, like, you know, to take care of my family, but it's not the most important to me when it comes to my business.
Yeah.
My peace is my most important thing.
It's paramount.
Yep. And
it is.
I will let a check and $1 go on about their business before I allow you to interrupt my peace.
Yeah. And those are good words to live by, guys. You know, please take that to heart, because you can take all of that and apply it to not only your personal life, but your professional, your business life. Because, you know, as Nicole stated, we do sometimes get stuck, and we're just right in the middle. We're in limbo, and we can't make a decision, but you have to make a decision in order to grow and to move forward in every aspect of your life. If you need to cut some dead weight, cut some people out of your life, love them from afar, it's okay to do that. Be okay with that, and don't feel any guilt about that, because you know that you have a good heart and you're coming from a place of love and sincerity, but it's for your own peace of mind and for your growth. So please take that to heart. And with that, I think we've covered
Everything.
Well, I'm sure there's more, but
It's always more.
you know, to be continued.
I was gonna say, but I'll keep some of those until the next time. I think we've shared a lot today.
We have.
But yeah, definitely look forward to the next time.
And you know, I just appreciate her taking the time out of her schedule, because she has so much going on, and she has something to do right after this as well.
Yeah, so
Just a chat.
we gotta tell them about the radio show though. So
yeah, we forgot about that.
because that's where I gotta run off to. But definitely, I do have a radio show called The Real Playbook, where we talk about all things real estate, and it is on every Wednesday at 2 o'clock live on the radio at 92.7 FM, 100.5 FM, and 820 AM. So definitely tune in. We're also always do Facebook Live as well. So if you are a friend or not, definitely send me out a friend request at Nicole Reed Real Estate 1. Or you can find my personal page at Nicole Reed. But we do live the radio show every Wednesday at 2 o'clock as well. So you get an opportunity to actually ask questions if you want to through the live chat on Facebook, but you also call it into the radio show. So we have industry experts that are on the show every week talking about things in the real estate world, you know, and I get an opportunity to interview them and let them share a little bit about their business, and just kind of help, you know, those out there as well, just learn and be well-rounded in real estate. That's my whole thing. I'm strong on education and informing people, and I like people to be well-rounded about real estate as well, because it's something that I love, and I want to share it with everybody.
That's me too. I like to inform my clients about fashion and what's best for them, and their style and their brand and their business, and what represents them in the best possible light.
Absolutely.
And you look great today, by the way.
Thank you. Appreciate that. One of our little stores we shop at.
Indeed. How else can they reach you? So I know you spoke about Facebook. How else?
I'm on Instagram, so Nicole Reed Real Estate on Instagram. LinkedIn, you can find me underneath my name, Nicole Reed. You can also check me out on my website, www.NicoleReedRealEstate.com, or you can contact me at 804-721-7630. And if you have credit questions or concerns you need a consult, I do offer free consultation. You can actually go to www.buildcredittrust.com. That's buildcredittrust.com, and schedule a free consultation. We can actually talk about that as well.
You have all of her information. You know how to contact her, and if you can't reach her, I don't see why you couldn't, because she's put it all out there. You can reach out to me. Right, you can reach out to me, and I can get in touch with her And I just, again, appreciate her time so much. She gave so much knowledge, so much information, and so much of her.
Well, I thank you for the opportunity. I had a very good time sharing.
Thank you. Yeah. So you guys know how you can reach me. I'm on Instagram under NeeChic. I'm on LinkedIn under NeeChic, and my website will appear right after this video as well. And we will chat next time. So thank you guys for stopping by. And again, happy 2021. And go out there and set those goals and reach those goals and go above those goals.
Gold digging.
Right, gold digging. And be the best you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Bye.